So we're chatting, right? And she comes up to me and she says, does the Fenix 320 run better in the Sim Update 4 beta? And I says, I don't know. Let's find out. That was my joke that I planned for this video. So, the Fenix A320 in the Skittles Spirit livery here at Alpha 29 on the ground in Charlotte. Does this thing run any smoother in the Sim Update 4 beta? This is one of the main airplanes in the entire sim and notoriously difficult to run, at least for me, in the whole beginning of FS24. So, without further to do, just kidding, I know what to do. It's a joke. Let's find out if it runs better. And spoiler alert, drastically better. But first, for some reason, they have this glitch in the beta. I don't know if that's the case in Sim Update 3, but you can get around it by just going bink. I like the analog too. We'll throw this guy in there too. There we go. Bing bong. Okay. So, does this plane change any with this beta? And the answer is a resounding yes. So first we'll get the batteries 1 and 2 on. I've got a new panel I'm going to show and talk about here in a little bit. External power. Kerklunk. That's what you love to hear. We'll go ahead and get our emergency lights armed. Get our no smoking on. Nav and logos. Set our ADAIRs. I'm not sure. Anyway, so I'm going to take you with me on a takeoff, and an approach, and I just want to talk about the new beta build and how just life-changing it's been. To be completely honest with you, man, to be able to just not have to worry about performance. I don't know what they did, but they've clearly done a lot. And just be able to play and feel like I have a fancy PC. To feel like everyone I watch on YouTube that just plays in these huge airliners and doesn't have an issue. And it's like not even what do you mean like you'd have an issue? It doesn't even occur to them that it's hard to run these planes because they have nice PCs. And I have a 3060 Ti, okay? Which is a great card, but, you know, it's getting old. I'll show you my settings too. Sorry to get all the boring stuff out of the way. Anyway, 1440, I'm on auto, which is one step below DLAA, essentially. A little bit of sharpening. We've got frame gen going, of course. Everything's TLOD's 20, but let me show you this guy. As soon as we take off, we're going to go to 45, so on and so forth. So that's dynamic LOD, yada yada. A lot of ultras, my friend. A lot of ultras, a lot of high. I found the difference between high and ultra with trees is not worth it. Same with clouds. Clouds look great, but they look good on high too. Anyway, texture resolution I do have on low only for the Fenix. I normally rock it medium which is normally perfectly fine. I usually have medium texture resolution with the ray trace shadows if I'm flying GA or any regional jet or anything like that. But for the Fenix, I do lower those, especially because I'm recording. But anyway, so that's the settings. I'll get back with you once the airplane is configured and we are about to take off. So, adios.
We know this is not a full flight, but we do ask that you take your ticketed seats for weight balance purposes once again.
So then I said to her, I was like, you shower. Hey, Toots, talk to you. You shower. Excuse me. You shower and I'll show her. Huh? What do you think of that? Huh?
Although oxygen will be flowing, the plastic bag may not appear to inflate. A crew member will inform you when it is safe to remove your mask. Be sure to secure your own mask, of course.
Alright, we're about ready to go. Now that I have this panel for the Airbus, I give a nice little bing bonk, little light flash to the virtual ground people. Bye. But anyway, engines are started. We're doing a 130-ish mile flight just to McGee Tyson. But I just want to talk about the Fenix, and I'll get you for the taxi out here. So we will get our taxi light on, our nose lights and taxi, not our strobes. Apologize. We can go with the AV bleed off, master off. Okay, anything else I'm missing? Let's give the cabin a ring. Bing bong. I love this panel, it's so great. Anyway, we gotta test our takeoff config. We have a weird V-speeds going on. 128 for V1 and 140 for rotate. But whatever. Whatever the computer tells me to do, I'll do, I suppose. I also just bought a Thrustmaster flight stick on Facebook Marketplace for $30. So that's exciting. I hate that the Fenix always calls me. I get it. Stop barking at me. I know the cabin's ready. But yeah, I'm excited, man. So the Fenix has always been a struggle for me to operate. Obviously, I think that's the case with most people, but the Fenix in particular has always given me a hard time. And in Sim Update 4 Beta, that's a lot to say, the performance overall has been unreal. And I think that Microsoft and Asobo and whoever, the nerds that are working on it, are just figuring out these perfect or much better ways to, I guess, optimize and just streamline the whole streaming, no pun intended, streaming aspect of this game to where, like, it just feels like a lot of stress has been lifted off my PC, and it's just not been an issue for it like it always has been in previous, versions. The worst thing in the world, though, with the beta, the worst thing in the entire world is that the flight effects Citation 10 screens are broken, and Flight Effects isn't going to release a fix for it because it's just going to break when the new update actually drops, or it's going to break for everybody in some update 3. So I'm just stuck without a Citation 10. But the performance and this beta is too good for me to switch back to 3 for the 10. So it's a rock in a hard place. Anyway, let's get our takeoff lights on. Nose to takeoff. Strobes on. We'll go ahead and throw our wing on too because I got the panel here. Give the cabin a bop. Alright. Let's go. Now I will say, my PC is doing great, but when I throw in recording into the mix, you can see that our frames are still high-ish. They're in the 50s. When I'm not recording, oh, let me turn my iPad 4 flight down. I don't think you can hear it. Anyway, when I'm not recording, this is locked at 60 FPS the entire time. In the Fenix, in the iFly, in the anything, I'm locked 60, which has never been the case. I've almost gotten used to it because I've been in the beta for a couple weeks now, but I forget how much of a privilege that is. But man, it's wonderful. So, but my frames are not as high as they are when I'm not recording in 1440. I always say this, but it's useful information if you don't know. I want to take a quick second to just tell you to head over to RTR Hobby and get you a F-wording Airbus panel that's backlit. They sent this out to me, and they did not request me make or put this stuff in these videos, but I'm so thankful that they sent this to me for free that I'm doing it. Get your lights on. Oh, bing bong. Super cool. RTR Hobby has a billion panels, different Airbus, Boeing, cool stuff. Go check them out. All right, we're back. That probably looks the exact same to you, but got a little promo filmed for the panel here with my cell phone, my shell phone. All right, anyway, so let's do this. Get this guy on. Climb. This one. I need a attachment for the Bravo. I do not have one, and I really wish I had one. So if any companies out there want to send me one, I will flex it. Anyway, airspeed's alive. There's 80. Nope, no, never mind. It's 60. There's 80 knots. Sorry. That was V1. That was creeping up on me and rotating. Okay. Positive rate. Gear up. We're gonna turn back to the right here. I have to tweak the thrust master settings a bit because it seems to be way too what's the word I'm looking for? It's not touchy enough, so I don't know. But then Fenix said something like a couple updates ago that it's like 1-to-1, so just leave it at normal set. I don't know. I'll have to look into it. But anyway, so we're off. We'll go ahead. Let's go level climb. The reason I want a Bravo attachment is because I have no click spot, so it's such a pain in the fart hole to try to get these lever asymmetric might, you know what I mean? Anyway, be cheap. We're gonna throw autopilot on, and let's get a window shot of the flaps coming up here. Beautiful. And Fenix just had an update. I forgot to say this. Fenix just had an update, and a new driver I have. So a lot of different new stuff going on to really flex out this flight sim experience. Watch this. I can touch the seatbelt signs without having to go click it in the cabin or in the cockpit. It's so nice. We'll give him a little bing bong. Oh, never mind. Why isn't it letting me bing bong? What? Sorry, this is not important. Okay, I can do it there. Anyway. But, we're off. We're climbing. I will get back with... am I not level climb? Or lever climb? Whatever the heck it is. There we go, I guess. I'll get back with you when we get to the approach end at McGee Tyson. We'll see how she does.
Ladies and gentlemen, in final preparation for our arrival, please make sure your seatbelts are securely fastened, window shades are open, tray tables are securely stowed.
Alright, we are about 7 miles from our initial approach fix for the ILS 23 right into McGee Tyson. So, yeah, I mean, there's not much to say. I will say one thing I hope that they fix in future versions of the sim is obviously not all of us can have TLOD at 400. So when we're in October, when we're in November, we have orange trees outside the render distance of your TLOD. Everything's green. So the orange trees look horrendous. So if they could just find a way to make the hue on like the not fully loaded stuff but in the distance look orange, that would be wonderful to match the rest. But anyway, approach. Also, one more thing before we get into more performance talk. If anybody knows how to set up the Fenix autopilot with the Honeycomb Bravo controls, I would really enjoy that. I don't want to have to get SPAD. Please don't make me get SPAD. I hate it. I have Mobi Flight. I don't know what that is, but can I do that with this? Does it work like that? I don't know. Anyway, the Fenix has just been a plane that I've always... It's always bummed me out. If you know any of my previous work, you know the Fenix has really just punched me in the D&Bs. Let you read between the lines on what that could mean, and just made me upset on about 50 billion occasions. Let's go ahead and go flaps one. So, with it running the way that it's running, Ooh, we were right on the margins there with the speed. Um, I now get to experience the Fenix like, you know, V1 gets to experience it, or anybody that is like a big YouTuber. I really mean that. We're gonna have to drop speed brakes here to get to where we need to be. You watch all these people on YouTube that have the channels, make the videos, yada yada yada, and they just constantly have zero problems with their system. It's not even a factor to them. And you just see how smooth it runs and how nice it is, and it's just like, oh, I wish I could achieve that. We're about to overspeed. I'm not prepared for this. I was too busy yapping. We're gonna drop gear now. Hopefully that'll slow us up. But anyway, with the new sim update beta, this is the first sim update beta I've ever been in that has genuinely been a 180, that has been the most improved beta that I think has ever existed. Definitely the most that I've ever been a part of. It's shocking. What do we have? 1,500 feet. Okay, so we are not configured, or just barely configured. Speed brakes are still out. Gosh, what a mess. It's just, it's night and day. So every time there's a beta, sorry to be all over the place, every time there's a beta and you watch videos on YouTube about it, this is completely different. This isn't the same game. It is an actual, okay, autopilot off. I'm gonna try to yap and do this. It's an actual life-changing, to be a little overdramatic. It is a video game still, but it is life-changing, dude. As far as sim performance goes, it's unreal. It is the most drastic change I've ever experienced with any sim update or update beta. So, dude, be excited. I'm always excited for the betas. I always, you know, hype them up when, you know, it's deserved. And if you remember last Sim Update 3 beta, there was a particular build, we're way high, particular build that just made me lose my mind in a bad way. I crashed out, as the kids say. But this one has not made me crash out. It's made me do the opposite. I'm actually going to try a good Airbus landing here, even though we're high on the Pappies here.
100.
Glide slope's telling me one thing, the Pappy's telling me another.
40, 30, 20, retard.
Oh, we're floating.
10, 5.
Alright. Reversers are... Let's fly the nose down. Come on, budget. Reversers green. Speed brakes out. Let's go ahead and try to get a shot at that. Yeah. Very cool. The other great thing about this panel is I can start my APU right now. I don't have to worry about it. Take it on VATSIM, do everything. Oh, it's so great. And when I pull up to the gate, I can just turn the beacon off as soon as I do, because GSX is all configured right. Ground power comes in, I see it light up on the panel, I hit bonk, got ground power. Yeah, anyway, just be excited. That's the whole point of this video. Now we're just farting around. But be extremely excited. Don't be afraid to get your hopes up, because if you're having performance issues, if you're on older hardware, going off the taxi. If you're like me and you just don't have the latest and greatest stuff, this is going to be a completely different experience for you, and you should be extremely happy. So we can all S-word on the devs for the release of FS24, which we should. It was rushed. They wanted holiday, Christmas money, and they put it out way too early. But it's very evident, especially with this build, that they've gone turbo mode and making something that is what, you know, we all hoped it would be when it comes to performance. So you got to call wins when they're there. You got to call poopy fart buttholes when it's there. And right now we are not poopy fart buttholes. We are winning, and it's a wonderful feeling. So that's my my Phoenix update. I can finally run it like the big dogs, and yeah, very much looking forward to it. I love this livery, dude. The Skittles livery. I used to work at Spirit, and this was one of my favorite ones to come in, was the Skittles. Good time. Anyway, God bless you. Thanks for watching. See you.